When it comes to facial expressions, there is a high amount of chance you can detect lies. Almost everyone you know tells low-stakes falsehoods, but some people go as far as to lie about serious issues that could permanently alter their relationships, terminate their jobs, or even land them in jail. They regularly are tasked with detecting high-stakes liars, and they frequently turn to facial expressions, body language, and verbal clues as clues or tells that someone is lying. Some facial expressions and behaviors could indicate that someone is lying to you. Some are induced by anxiousness, while others are triggered by chemical reactions and still others by physical reactions. To begin, it is critical to learn how the individual in question generally behaves. It's preferable to observe someone for a time while making small talk or asking innocuous questions to see what his typical reactions are, including any tics the person may have. Then if the person demonstrates many lying indications when you ask more direct or suggestive questions that he hasn't before performed, you can be convinced that person is lying. Here are a few examples you can do to tell if someone's lying. 1. Focus on their eyes. This is a physiological response to a person feeling uneasy or confined by your questions, which he does not want to answer. It's a throwback to when humans needed to find an escape path when they were in a risky circumstance, such as facing a human or animal adversary. 2. Be on the lookout for quick blinking. Normally a person blinks 5 or 6 times a minute, or once every 10 or 12 seconds. When he's anxious, for example when someone suspects he's lying, he may blink 5 or 6 times in a row. The body's synthesis of dopamine largely causes exceptions to the normal blink rate. A person with Parkinson's disease, for example, will blink at a noticeably slower rate than usual, but a person with schizophrenia will blink more quickly than usual. Count how long someone closes their eyes. If a person encloses his eyes for a few seconds, he is said to be sleeping, and it could mean he lied to you because this is a form of defense mechanism. Normally, a person blinks at a 100 to 400 milliseconds rate, or 0.10 to 0.40 of a second. 3. Pay attention to the direction they look. When you ask a normal right-handed individual about something he's reported to have witnessed, he's accessing his recollection of the situation if he looks upward and to his left. If he looks up and to the right, he's accessing his imagination and constructing a response. Please take careful note of what you're asking them. The secret is in what they're attempting to recall. If he's going to tell you his recall of a smell, touch, or sensation, such as a chilly draft or a foul odor, but if he's going to lie, his eyes will go down and to the right. 4. Keep an eye on what they do with their mouth. When a person is lying, her mouth often goes dry. They might make a sucking action, pursing their lips to get around this. When their lips are pinched and white, it may signal that they are lying. 5. Keep an eye out for excessive perspiration. Sweat may form on the forehead, cheeks, or back of the neck, and you'll most likely see the person attempting to wipe it away. 6. Notice when the person blushes. Blushing is an automatic reflex generated by the sympathetic nervous system, which initiates your fight or flight response in reaction to adrenaline release. 7. Pay attention to the direction in which they shake their head. When people tell the truth, they frequently nod their heads in agreement with what they're saying. However, if they shake their heads in dissatisfaction with what they've said, their bodies are betraying their deception. Ways to detect if someone is lying. In other words, if you don't know how someone acts when they're telling the truth, it might be tough to discern when they're lying. This emphasizes the necessity of establishing trust with someone before sharing personal information. For example, rather than trusting someone who calls at random or sends an official-looking letter in the mail pretending to be a bank employee, it's always preferable to contact your bank directly and know whom you're speaking with. If you know someone and are unsure whether you are being told the whole truth or a half-truth, here is a list of the top 10 symptoms that someone is lying. 1. A change in speech patterns. Irregular speech is one warning sign that someone is not speaking the whole truth. When someone tells a falsehood, a veteran criminal profiler, their voice or habits of speaking may change, as reported by Real Simple. The first step is to discover a person's regular speech patterns and characteristics by asking common, uncomplicated queries such as their name or where they live. When he asks more tough, interrogative inquiries, he can evaluate any changes in his speaking or traits. 2. The use of non-congruent gestures. If someone answers yes but shakes their head no, it could mean they're not telling the truth. Non-congruent gestures are body motions that do not correspond to a person's words, and the gestures are the truth tellers. For example, if someone says, "Of course I'll assist with the investigation," and then shakes their head, there's a chance they're not telling the full truth and nothing but the truth. 3. Not saying enough. More details are disclosed when truth-telling witnesses relate what they observed and are asked, "Is there anything else?" When liars are challenged to go beyond their rehearsed stories, they provide little to no further details. When pushed to answer questions or provide more details, liars who deceive by omission often offer less than those telling the truth. This can be assessed by phone call transcripts, witness accounts, or a lack of descriptive terms in a dialogue. Researchers can also check the truth by asking participants to recount events backward. Truth-tellers will stay to the same tale while adding additional information. In contrast, liars are frequently caught off guard and develop a separate story while not adding detail to the original 4, saying an extremely large number of words. On the other hand, liars who are attempting to deceive stretch the truth with too many words. Because such a liar may make things up as they go, they may also tend to go into exaggerated detail to persuade themselves or others of what they are saying. They may also embellish with terms that a truthful person would not think of adding. 5. An unusual rise or fall in vocal tone. An essential point about culture, context, and communication in detecting falsehoods is emphasized. This study demonstrates that nonverbal indications for lying can connect with cultural variations, which should be considered rather than relying solely on one's artistic ideas. 6. Direction of their eyes. If a person avoids making eye contact, they are not telling the truth, although eye contact might be deemed untrustworthy in certain situations in other cultures. 7. Closing their mouth or eyes. Many people wish to cover up a lie or hide their emotion, which is why they may cover their eyes or mouths when speaking an untruth. Others may even close their eyes completely when telling a lie, according to Parade magazine. This is especially true when responding to a question that does not necessitate much thought. 8. Extreme fidgeting. Consider what a child acts when he or she is asked where the last cookie went. They may lick their lips, examine their nails, or even shake their hands before telling a huge lie. What is happening is that their anxiety response has kicked in, causing blood to be withdrawn from their extremities. They may be unconsciously attempting to calm that anxiety response, or at the very least get the blood flowing back to their extremities, all of which could indicate nervousness about telling a lie. 9. Finger pointing, literal or figurative. According to Business Insider, pointing towards something or someone else with gestures or words may indicate a strong desire to shift the focus away from an individual and lay responsibility on someone else. Of course, knowing if that individual frequently gesticulates or gestures with their finger can be a good starting point. However, if someone responds in a measured tone rather than an angry tone with finger pointing, this violent switch may signal that someone is lying. 10. Self-identifying as a good liar. Perhaps the easiest way to spot a liar is to let them do it for you. This study showed that good liars mostly told little lies to colleagues and friends in person and focused on telling simple and clear stories. Thank you for listening, and stay focused.